What would have happened if the USSR had not dissolved? The dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991 marked the end of an era and changed the global landscape. In this video, we explore three possible scenarios of how this alternative event could have shaped our current reality. The most likely first scenario would be the continuation of the Soviet system with internal reforms. In this scenario, the USSR does not dissolve, but implements profound economic and political reforms to adapt to global challenges. Leaders such as Mikhail Gorbachev intensified programs such as perestroika and glasnost, managing to stabilize the system without losing central control. The Cold War continues, but in a less intense form, focusing on technological and economic rivalries rather than armed conflict. Satellite countries in Eastern Europe remain under Soviet influence, delaying processes such as European unification and NATO expansion. This fragile balance allows the USSR to remain a relevant player in global politics, but with constant tensions. Before continuing, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any more fascinating content about alternative history. Your support helps us continue creating more videos like this. Thanks for joining us. Scenario number 2 presents us with a further expansion of Soviet influence in the developing world. In this version, the USSR avoids dissolution by consolidating its influence in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Resources that in our timeline were allocated to failed reforms are redirected to support allied regimes and revolutionary movements in the developing world. This leads to an intensification of the Cold War on new fronts, prolonging local conflicts such as those in Afghanistan and Central America. The world is divided into two large blocks, with more rigid alliances and a polarization that affects global trade and international relations. In the third and least likely scenario, the USSR positions itself as a global economic power. In this case, the USSR abandons centralized control and adopts a mixed model, similar to that of China, opening its economy to the global market but maintaining an authoritarian political system. This makes the USSR an economic power capable of competing with the United States and Europe on equal terms. In this version of the story, countries like Russia, Ukraine, and Kazakhstan develop as part of a unified Soviet economic bloc, with increased investment in technology, science, and trade. The Cold War turns into a trade rivalry, accelerating global progress but maintaining political tensions. If the USSR had not dissolved, today's world would be more polarized, with the balance of power divided between two rival blocs. European integration would have been much more limited, and countries like Ukraine would probably not have had the conflicts we know today. On the other hand, technological and economic development could have taken different directions, with a more controlled internet and more restricted globalization. Our reality would be more complex, with less global consensus and greater struggle for resources. What do you think? Which of these scenarios seems most possible or interesting to you? Do you have a different idea about how the story would have changed? Leave us your thoughts in the comments. We would love to hear your opinion and debate with you. In our next video, we'll explore another fascinating question. What would have happened if the Black Death had not hit Europe? Don't miss it!